In a tragic and brutal incident that unfolded in Crawley last August, 26-year-old Jason Flor, a man originally hailing from Mauritius, extinguished the life of his 19-year-old girlfriend, Stephanie Marie, in what the court described as an explosion of violence. The fatal attack took place in a deserted car park, where Flore plunged a knife into Stephanie's chest, piercing her heart and severing her aorta, the body's largest artery, bringing her young life to a devastating end. At Hove Crown Court, Judge Jeremy Gold KC addressed Flore directly during sentencing, painting a vivid picture of the crime, a lethal outburst driven by a toxic cocktail of rage and alcohol. "I have no doubt," the judge declared, "that you had formed the intention to kill her in that moment. Despite Flora's denial of the murder charge, the overwhelming evidence left no room for doubt, and he was sentenced to life behind bars." Stephanie's mother, Kathy, laid bare her unending grief in a victim impact statement that echoed through the courtroom. "I cry for my daughter every single day," she said, her words heavy with sorrow. "She's in my thoughts all the time. There's not a moment she leaves me." The court learned of the family's journey from Mauritius to England, a move made when Stephanie was just 13, fueled by the hope of securing a brighter future through better education. They settled into a council house in Crawley, where Stephanie began mastering English at school. Described as a joyful child with a love for sports, she dreamed of one day becoming a hairdresser, a simple yet heartfelt ambition. But her path took a fateful turn at 14 when she crossed paths with Flore, then 21, whose influence would gradually tighten its grip on her life. By 17, she was carrying his child, her youthful dreams overshadowed by a relationship that would ultimately prove fatal. By August 2024, the couple's circumstances had deteriorated to the point where they were living together in a tent, pitched in the grim isolation of that disused car park. The events leading to Stephanie's death began to unravel on August 17th, when she and Flore attended a barbecue. There, the pair consumed a significant amount of alcohol, setting the stage for the tragedy that followed. Hours later, in the early morning of August 18th, commuters passing by the car park caught glimpses of the couple locked in a heated, aggressive exchange, an ominous prelude to the violence that erupted shortly after. It was then that Flore, armed with a knife, delivered the fatal blow. In the aftermath, he scrambled to deflect responsibility, first insisting to authorities that Stephanie had inflicted the wound on herself, then attempting to pin the blame on unnamed others. Judge Gold KC dismissed these claims outright, pointing to the overwhelming evidence that pinned the crime squarely on Flora, a conclusion the defendant could not escape, even as he chose to absent himself from the courtroom during his sentencing. For Stephanie's family, the loss is an open wound that time seems powerless to heal. Her mother's words lingered as a haunting testament to a life stolen too soon, while Flore, a rough sleeper whose own life had spiraled into chaos, now faces the rest of his days confined to a prison cell. The court's judgment closed one chapter of this heartbreaking story, but for those who loved Stephanie, the pain of her absence remains an unrelenting shadow.